Hello, YouTube land, and welcome to Force In Unison Live! I am your host, Dantes, and tonight we're gonna talk about Shadows of the Colossus. Tonight we're gonna talk about Monster Hunter. Tonight we're gonna talk about Microsoft. But the best part of tonight is that we're gonna have a little bit of fun. And joining me, like always, Leones! Take us away, man.
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? And yeah, we're gonna be talking about things that don't necessarily have to do with Nintendo. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Monster Hunter, Shadow of the Colossus, and some rumors about purchases and microtransactions. So it is the return of microtransactions into the podcast again. So all of those things. But go ahead and take it away, Dante, so we can get started.
I still have my stick of truth right here. Anyway, Mario Kid, Brian, Dantes, Margie, thank you for joining us in the chat tonight. Anyway, let's do our quick rigmarole so we can start with the news. I want to welcome everybody to the Force In Unison Live, episode 20, right here at the Force In Unison Gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also remember, we do have a Nintendo podcast called the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to SoundCloud and iTunes and download that podcast for free. Rate us over there so you can show us some love. Also, remember, we got new shows. Monday, Xenoblade Monday. I want to thank all the peeps who have joined us on that and give us a lot of support for the best method in getting all the rare blades right here at the Force In Unison Gaming channel. Also remember, Fridays, Toys and More Club presents Minecraft Friday. So that's hot. So you better watch it. And of course, we do have a Facebook page called @Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dante says finally, go to ChicagoNews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caliones. With all that said, Caliones, take us away with the first piece of news.
Okay, so we're gonna get started right away, and we're gonna be talking about Shadow of the Colossus for the PS4. It is a remake of the PS2 game. Currently has a 93 Metacritic score, and it's being said to be maybe the best remake ever made. So I mean, it's I know we were talking about this before the podcast, and you said that at first you weren't really interested about playing it again, but now after seeing the game, seeing the gameplay, and seeing the reception, you're thinking about maybe that it might be worth going into the game again. So how do you feel about it?
So one of the reasons I didn't want to play the game, if you play this game, you will remember this is a sad game, and it really leaves you like, when you finish the game, like drained. I want to put it that way. I don't want to spoil too much because this game is not like a big storytelling game. It's not like it's going to tell you. It's not like an RPG. It's more visual cues. Typical Japan Studios things. But even then, the story builds up that when you get to the finale, you're feeling the same as the protagonist is feeling as he kills those Colossus, right? So it is one of the best games. I think based on the reviews that I read, it got a 93 on Metacritic, but it did upgrade and improve the controllers. So I do believe that the controllers they're old school. So, now being modernized, I think it will help the game for the new generation. Of course, the graphics look great, looks awesome. So, I mean, to me, that's going to bring a lot of people. And the graphics is being told. I mean, Digital Foundry said that this is the best remake of all time, saying it's even a technical marvel, even better than Witcher 3. I was like, oh, really? Wow, okay, that you guys are saying that. So Blue Point, again, delivers. They done great remakes, Gravity Rush 1, the Uncharted collection, and they have always delivered in those remakes. This is, remasters, not remakes. This is the first time that they let Blue Point have, I guess, the reins of building a game from the ground up, and they show that they have a lot of talent. I mean, I am really surprised. I see this trailer right now, and those graphics look beautiful. I have to say. Plus, the big part for me, the game runs at 60 frames per second, so you can pick it up in performance mode, 1080p, 60 frames. That's some of the reasons why I'm like, I'm going to buy the game. I think I'm going to buy the game. It is the first big exclusive for Sony. It is a 93, so at least they got off the skid for the year. Make sure that they get that 90 because it's really hard today gaming, unless you're Nintendo, to get 90s. But, I told Caliones when we had a show, saying is Sony now this year is going to have one of the best years of their life like Nintendo did last year. And they started up with a bang. I mean, again, Shadow of the Colossus is a 93. If God of War is upper 90s or close to 90s, if Spider-Man delivers is close to 90 or upper 80s, if Days Gone delivers, that's the one that I foresee that could be the less of the Metacritic scores, but if it delivers, it gets up the high 90s. Detroit Become Human, if that delivers and get high 80s, 90s, I mean, Sony's looking for a lineup this year that to me it matches what Nintendo delivered that year, and I am the first one to say that Nintendo delivered one of the best lineups of all time. I love last year's lineup. I'm still playing last year's lineup at this current moment, so I'm pumped, Caliones. The game looks great. The game even improved on climbing on the Colossus too. So I mean that makes it easier for us trophy hunters, because the trophy list is hard, Caliones. It is one of those trophy lists that you're gonna be pulling your hair. I looked at it quickly. I said, "Whew, those time attacks. They were there." Let me say that you're gonna be pulling your hairs or get more gray hair like me. Anyway, Caliones, any impressions of Shadow of the Colossus? Anything you want to add?
Well, I guess the first game, even though it was a critical success, it sold moderately, so it didn't really have like big sales on it, and that's one of the things that I hope that this one will get. And I'm thinking about it, like, for example, okay, so you have the first people like yourself that you played the game already, so you've already gone through it, but this game looks so improved that it kind of looks like a brand new game, like a completely different game from the original.
Agreed.
So
Yep.
even though it is a remaster, but it's actually a remake based on everything that they've done for the game. So the people that already played it, they're gonna have another go around on the game, and it's gonna feel like a new experience.
Yes.
And people that are new to the game, they're gonna want to go ahead and play it again. So it's gonna have a bigger crowd. Plus, whoever looks at the previous scores, the game is among the greatest games ever made, and it deserves to be played again. So I'm happy that Blue Point did an excellent job on the game. It has a 93 based on 67 critics, and it's if it's at 93 right now, it's gonna stay there. So
yeah,
it's not gonna go down.
It will stay in the 90s at least. We're for sure.
Yeah.
That, there's gonna be the troll review here and there, but what I like is that a lot of people who played the original were the ones who played the remake, right? So
Yes.
it was them saying, look, this is a different experience. This is a way better game than the original, and the original is considered a masterpiece. And to your point, it did not sell great, or moderate, I would say. It's so moderate on the PlayStation, right? So I'm hoping that this game gives a chance, a new life. This new new coat of paint delivers, brings people over, and it has a chance, Caleon. It's just, again, looking at the trailers, I wasn't even thinking about buying it, but I'm like, damn, my backlog sucks. Should I really want to play a game that I already played a long time ago? And I was like, when watching the trailer, I was like, yes, Toy Some More Clock, PlayStation. Sorry. Someday you may see it if PlayStation goes under. But anyway, just joking around. Great game. We need to celebrate when great games come out. Nintendo had one of the best years last year with two 97s Metacritics. They had a Mario Kart, which was a port, and they still got over. The port got better. They got the original, and the Wii U did not get to the 90s. The port got to the 90s, right? And at least this game, Shadow of the Colossus, it is a full-on remake. So you're getting a brand new product, and it is rating great. So please support it. We need single-player games. We're going to touch on that later, what Phil Spencer said about single-player games for the Game Pass. But I want to see support on single-player games. You've done an awesome job with games like Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild. And if you are a cross-console gamer, you don't care about brand loyalty. If you're a Nintendo fan and you have a PlayStation, go buy this game. And if you're a PlayStation owner and you're a fan of PlayStation, go buy this game, please. There's 70 million out there PlayStations. You should be enough to push at least 2 million in this game, please. And again, it is a bargain, $40. It's not gonna break your bank for a brand new experience and from the masterminds of Blue Point. So anyway, with that, Caliones, I think I did my sales pitch there for people. Go to the next piece of news.
Well, the next piece of news is with a game that it was controversial when it was announced to be on the PS4 and Xbox One and not on a Nintendo console, and that's actually Monster Hunter World. So Capcom has announced that Monster Hunter World in its first 3 days shipped over 5 million units. So making it by far the biggest shipping numbers of any Monster Hunter game ever. So I mean, this is great news for Capcom, great news for the franchise. It lets you know that it's, just because it's not on a Nintendo console, people are still going to buy it. Or same thing when it came from a PlayStation console over to a Nintendo one. The fans are still going to be there, so they're still going to get the game and support it. With that said, when it comes to the 5 million units, it is shipped and not sold. So it doesn't really account for actual sales. And also, this is the first Monster Hunter game that has released worldwide. So of course you're going to see bigger shipping numbers because of that. But either way, 5 million shipped units on the first 3 days is big, and it seems like the game is right now it's a critical success. It has I believe a 91 Metacritic score. So outlets are giving it great reviews. Only thing that is still struggling with it is when it comes to the multiplayer section and matchmaking. That's the only downside. But as far as everything else, people are embracing the game and telling great stories about it.
Yeah, hopefully the issues with the servers are Capcom's issues and not PlayStation, because damn PlayStation, I forgot to put that piece of news. Damn PlayStation has been getting a hammer with their network. One piece of news, and I'm sorry I'm jumping because I forgot to put it. I wanted to put it, but I'm fair. I want to show everything. PlayStation had one tournament even cancel because the networks were having a lot of problems. I think it was FIFA. Caliones, please correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
Yeah, that was actually a big deal because as far as you know, FIFA has Sony has the exclusive rights to FIFA when it comes to promoting the game. So every commercial you're going to see, anything that you're going to see is going to be on the PS4. But they had so many issues with the network that they actually had to move the tournament from using a Sony console to an Xbox console. So I mean, in a way, that's I guess it's a little embarrassing.
Yeah, it looks bad.
It's a little embarrassing.
Yeah, no, it looks bad. Pure and simple.
Yeah.
But let me finish with Monster Hunter. I just wanted to mention that, and then we can get to that one, like an added news piece that I forgot to put. So I apologize. But Monster Hunter itself. So 5 million ship is still. I know it's not sold, but it's still, there was enough demand for them to send to stores 5 million. That means that there was demand, Caliones. They said, oh, the game is selling. Look at the pre-order numbers. We need to ship more than we expect, right? So at least maybe it's not the sell numbers, Caliones, but it is a good sign that the game will sell really well. And I believe there's enough Monster Hunters fans out there that they're going to promote this game. Aside from that, it's been getting great reviews. Everybody seems hyped to play the game. Everybody's playing together to the best part of this game is going with team members and going and killing those big monsters, prepare X, Y, and Z. So I do believe that this game will do great. I mean, the 5 million ship, I think this is PlayStation winning, honestly. And the reason I say that is I don't expect this game to sell on Xbox. Sorry. So if there's 5 million ship, if Xbox has 1 million of those ship, I'll be surprised, honestly. And it's not a dig against Xbox. It is proven historically that Japanese games don't sell on Xbox, pure and simple.
Oh. And I mean, it didn't even release on Xbox in Japan.
Yeah, correct. And the other piece of it is this is a PlayStation promotional exclusivity, and they have DLC exclusive with Monster Hunter. So PlayStation knows their crowd. PlayStation knows that people in the PlayStation ecosystem like this Japanese game. And Capcom did the right thing. Hey, send it on Xbox. It's good to have the game as many options as possible. Hopefully it will come to PC too. I think the PC crowd will add more players to it, so you can play it
later this year.
This year. So then that means that helps. But the PlayStation did the right thing to start. They'll get the big fan base or big install base, and then you can increase that with the initial push of the DLC and stuff like that. So again, PlayStation I think was smart. They know their crowd. So we'll see how the game goes. I am just happy the game is selling. What up, Sport? You're doing
Well,
dig. I have to say dig. I don't know. I can't say spork. I dig.
well, either way, Capcom, it doesn't hurt for you to bring Double Cross over on Nintendo Switch. It's still gonna sell. So you have your main series here, then you have the world on the PS4 and Xbox One. They can coexist. Just pull an Activision where they have Sledgehammer and they have Treyarch and they have Infinity Ward producing a Call of Duty game every year. You could probably get away with doing the same thing, just one game on PS1, PS4 and Xbox One every other year, and on Nintendo console every other year, and you're still gonna make money anyway. So just bring it over.
Shout out Evans. Thank you for joining us tonight in the chat. I was gonna say, yeah, Capcom. I don't know what the hell you're waiting. Monster Hunter is hot. I think now is the time for Switch owners to get their own Monster Hunter. Send double X. I didn't say triple X this time, but send double X down to here. You know what I'm saying? To the west. Come on, Capcom. I think you're missing big fan base. The Switch is selling so great that I think you're missing. But again, yeah. I'm happy for PlayStation. The first two pieces of news were good news, but now when I say the bad news, like Leones explained, and I saw a tweet, and this is the funny part, from our good CEO, and I retweeted it. I forgot his name. CEO, the fake CEO of Sony, he stated that Sony has so many network problems that they're not concerned about it because they're sending so many single-player games. They're just assuring that you're going to play the single-player games instead of playing multiplayer. So anyway, that was the tweet. I thought it was funny. I retweeted it. But what I was going to say is that the bad news is that there was a tournament for FIFA. It was supposed to be on the PlayStation. Again, they have the exclusive rights, but they had so many network problems that they had to switch to Xbox to complete or do the tournament, right? They didn't want to delay the tournament. So in reality, it's on Sony. It is on Sony. That is pure the truth. On them not maintaining their network. I don't know what's going on. Sony, you have to remember, people were paying for this. And they gave you a pass when you decided to, let me put it this way. Let me go back. They gave you a pass on the PlayStation 3 because you were not charging for it. So when you had network issues, it was okay because it was not charged. You decided to charge this generation, and your network has improved a lot. I am not denying being in the PlayStation ecosystem all my life. I will say that the PlayStation 4 network is way better than the PlayStation 3. I mean, I was there. I suffered through the hack. I was so disappointed in Sony that I didn't play the PlayStation for a whole year because I felt that it was Sony's fault that they allowed the hack to happen. In this case, Sony, if it's a network issue, hopefully it's not another hack. If it's a network issue, please fix it. Fix it as soon as possible. You cannot keep having these network issues. Your competition, even though Xbox is way behind, they're doing moves like the Game Pass and stuff like that. If we learn something about video games, is that aside from the fanboys and the brand loyal people, the normal crowd don't give a crap, and they're gonna move where either A, the games is, either B, when their friends are, or C, the services that they want. So just be careful, Sony. Anything to add to the PlayStation misfortunes, I guess?
With
Natalia, welcome to the show. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, another game that we're going to be talking about, which is Star Wars Battlefront 2. It relies on the network. We have Monster Hunter World we just released, and it does rely on the network as well. And of course, you got all those sports games and the competitive and the network. I mean, it relies on it. So yeah, I hope that it's not going to be a hack. I hope it's not going to be anything serious. Not only because it would hurt Sony as a company, but also it would hurt its consumer. It would hurt the gamers that they have personal information, credit card, and things like that on there. So so everybody's going to be protected. But hopefully something they have corrected, and it's not going to happen again. But yes, when it comes to it, and when they have so many exclusive deals, they have to make sure that when they're running at optimal performance, and because you want to keep those companies. So now what's going to happen is, and maybe money talks, maybe EA doesn't care about anything else and they stay with Sony, or maybe EA says, you know what, maybe whenever we do something like this, we might as well stay with Microsoft and have those deals with them, because these things don't happen to them. So that's something to think about when it comes to it. But EA, it's in its own monster. We think about them as only seeing green, so they may not care at all. But it didn't look good. I know Microsoft is gonna run with it, and they're gonna use this as leveraging
they're gonna
the
say
performance.
the most powerful and stable network in the
Yeah.
console gaming industry.
Yeah, so that you know they're gonna use it.
Oh yeah, that's fine. It is competition. It is what it is. So, Sony, get your shit together, I guess. Anyway, let's go to the next piece of news, Calianos.
Okay, and the next one is talking about Microsoft again, and not only how they can get EA and get FIFA and all of those in their pocket, but basically Valve, PUBG, and the rumors. This is rumor, so it hasn't really been confirmed, but their sources, and this is Polygon reporting it, that Microsoft has been considering acquiring either EA or well, not or, but if they could, all of them: EA, Valve, and PUBG Corp.
Yeah.
So they're trying to gain a monopoly when it
Dominate
comes
the
to football
world.
games, to the soccer, to those big franchises, the Battlefields, the Battlefronts, to those. So they're trying to get a monopoly. They're trying to make sure to get PUBG before they go multi, like, I guess like just releasing another console, releasing on Sony. And to me, this is the one that makes more sense of EA acquiring PUBG Corp, and Valve as well. So I don't know, like, and it is rumors. There's no confirmation, but if Microsoft can do it, then I mean, more power to them. But do you think gamers are going to hurt in the end if this were to happen?
So Microsoft is gonna do whatever it takes to dominate the world, I guess. So them buying the one company, I think EA is too big and Valve is too big for them to go through with this. My personal opinion, right? They make a lot of money. Why they would want to sell? Valve, Steam is like the top platform for selling digital games on PC. Why would you want to sell to Microsoft? I mean, why Lord Gable want to sell to Microsoft when you got making the money? Right? And Lord Gable, I know him. He's a proud man. Well, I know him personally. I'm just saying what I was seeing. He's a proud man. So he will do. I think Valve won't sell. Why? Microsoft is just looking Game Pass. Think about it. If they buy Valve, they get Steam. You see how that would work for Game Pass too, Caliones? They're trying to be the next Netflix, pure and simple. The strategy for Microsoft is be the next Netflix. You buy EA. Game Pass. All those games would come to Game Pass. And I don't think Microsoft would stop the multi-publishing or multi-platform because they bought Minecraft and they haven't used that weapon against Sony because they know that how they're making money and they spend a lot of money buying Minecraft is that they want to make that money fast. So they're not going to stop it from being in the Sony platform. They put the Halo pack on the Switch. That's another piece of news that we didn't include. That's how much Microsoft does not care. They just want to make that money. Microsoft, you Xbox fanboys, you need to understand your system is going to become soon a Netflix, Roku, or whatever you are. They're going to put their games in every platform at some point. They want their platform to be used by Sony, by Nintendo, by everybody as an option, right? Hey, get the Microsoft app. You can play the Microsoft games. Oh, that's another piece. Damn, how many pieces of news I forgot to put today? That's how bad I came from work. Microsoft bought a cloud service gaming company, kind of in the same line as Sony bought a cloud service gaming company. Now, Sony hasn't had huge success with PS Now. Is Microsoft going to be, you know what I'm saying, waiting and holding and improving the technology where they can stream? They can say, because the beauty of Game Pass is that you download the game directly to your console. There's no streaming. There's no lagging. But Microsoft, I think, is thinking that the game will get there and they will be able to stream at some point. And maybe that's what Sony was thinking too. So both sides are kind of like thinking the same thing. It's just Microsoft did it smart. They can build Game Pass with downloading the games directly to the console and then later drop the streaming, right? When it's more stable. We'll see what happens. So Microsoft bought a cloud-based gaming company also just now. So to end this rant, they're not going to buy EA. I don't think they'll get it. They're not going to buy Valve. I don't think they'll get it. But to your point, PUBG is, I believe, the one that is in the shopping block, and it could get bought easily by Microsoft. Anything to add, Calion?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's going to happen the same thing about Microsoft being a console as a service, meaning like you said. Can you imagine if this is just what ifs? I don't think it's going to end up happening, but what if they acquired, like you said, Valve and Steam? What if they acquire EA and they have, I mean, all these games that they can sell as a service? They can do it as a cable company. So you have the basic service, which is Game Pass, and you can add the premier services with the EA and Valve catalogs. The other thing to think about is about Valve and Steam. One of the biggest things about Steam is that it gives developers the ability to create games, put them on the store, and have people either download for free or play the games. Um, and as far as we know, the Xbox One is already a dev kit, so the Xbox One is a development kit. Can you imagine if they acquire Steam, you're able to create games on the Xbox and then upload those games to Steam? So that's going to be another way for developers to not have to buy development kits from Sony, from Nintendo, and PC and Xbox are going to be the premier markets for for new games, for indie games and those types, because it'll be the easiest way. They can create a game for one console and it's going to be ready for PC and Xbox. So that's another market that they can, they can take over when it comes to the indie games and those. And like my kids, they were really happy because they announced Bandy and the Ink Machine is going to be coming over to Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch. And if you look at YouTube and watch YouTube videos, that's a big game when it comes to the market. Another game that they bought this year, or they got from Santa Claus this year was Hello Neighbor, and that's another game that is big when it comes to YouTube. YouTubers play it, and it gets big promotions. So yes, so you're way out of touch on those, but those are going to be the type of games that you would be able to make on the Xbox One using the dev kit. And not only can you upload them to the Xbox, the Microsoft Store, but you could also upload them to the Steam Store, where you have hundreds of millions of people that could be introduced to the game. So that would be the premier place for developers to create games if Microsoft were to acquire Valve, or EA, for that matter. But what I do end up seeing eventually is not that they're going to buy Valve, but that there's going to be some sort of partnership, and they're going to have the Steam app on the Xbox One. I really see a Steam app on the Xbox One where you can download games, you can play them on the Xbox. And I think that's going to be the way to go for now. If they end up buying those companies, it's going to be another story. But PUBG first, I think that's going to be a given, and that's the one that they should go for and go hard. And they should already purchase them if they could have. But if that happens, at least when it comes to the US, Xbox One would beat the crap out of the PS4 or PlayStation console.
So I disagree on the last part. I mean, if I put G, I don't think this generation is over in the US. I don't think they're gonna gain the ground.
No, I'm talking about if they get EA involved as well.
That's not gonna happen. So it's whatever. I think Microsoft next generation, they'll still sell the console. I think they'll have one more console generation in them. I just think that it's moving into a more of a Netflix type of platform. But about PUBG, I agree. That's the game they should buy. It's considered an Xbox game in reality. Everybody's playing. They got over 4 million people right now playing concurrent on the Xbox for that game. It's an Xbox game. That's fine. I know that PUBG people are saying that they want to bring it to PlayStation and stuff like that. I don't know. Whatever. Just I don't care for that game, so it's fine with me. Let Microsoft have one. Phil Spencer did state that he wants to build his portfolio. He even admitted that his portfolio is kind of weak. So, he knows that he's getting the crap kicked out by PlayStation and Nintendo when it comes to exclusives. So they need to do a little bit better in that area. But I don't think they care even. I think they just want to publish games, but publish games that can be put in different platforms. So I don't think they even care about exclusives at this point. But Nintendo and Sony are still using the old model of selling video games. The question is, how long will that last? It seems like Nintendo will be the last holdout, and they're still gonna be doing the old model. But you can see that also Nintendo is diversifying by Labo and stuff like that. And then you can see Sony diversifying by PlayStation VR and stuff like that. So every console knows that they cannot keep the old model working. But we'll see what happens.
But I ask you one question. Okay, so looking at Microsoft library, looking at their Forzas and their Halos and those games, out of all the Microsoft-owned games, which one do you think is the one making them the most money?
Minecraft.
Minecraft, right?
Yeah.
And Minecraft is It's a game available in all consoles. I mean, not only in all consoles, it's available on PC, it's available on tablets, it's
Yep.
available on smartphones. It just, I think it just officially sold like, they announced like over 140 something million copies, the game. So the game is out there and everybody has it, and that's making them the most money. So if they're as a company, they're looking to make a profit. Yes, they still want to continue to push the Xbox console, but at the same time, it's not really a profitable business from them. Usually, we hear about them either breaking even or losing money on consoles sold. They haven't really been selling that many games with the consoles, which is why one of the next ones we're going to cover it. But it just makes the most sense for them to have games like Minecraft or create games like that because those are by far the most profitable games that they have out of the library.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Microsoft is making moves. Let me only say that. And I'm interested in see how gaming evolves in the next 5 years. I'm probably just gonna be an old fart hating how games comes to be. I don't like the services. I like to buy. If you can see in the back, physical games. So I may be holding on with Nintendo, Sony as much as I can, playing my single player games and and stuff like that. Which it is fine. At some point, if gaming is only a service, I'm fine with just going back to my old catalog games. I have a huge backlog, and I'm more than happy to play all those games.
Well, and I want to say like sport or dig. We'll see this Friday when Toys and More Club does the Minecraft Fridays. If everybody playing the game is 5 year old,
Yeah.
so we're gonna test that theory out on Friday. But moving along, and this is very very sad news coming out of EA. They had another game in which it underperformed, and they're thinking about doing certain things to try to make a profit out of the game because the sales expectations were not met like they should have. They announced that they expected Star Wars Battlefront 2 to sell 10 million copies, but the game only sold 9 million copies. So they're losing money on the game, and it's something that they're going to have to consider, or they will be adding microtransactions to the game in the next couple of months because they need to make that money up, that difference, because they did not meet their sales expectations. So, sad news coming from EA, only 9 million copies for the game. So, what would you say to that?
Woof. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. God. 9 million units sold. I think Sony would have been happy if Horizon Zero Dawn would have sold 9 million. I think Nintendo would have been happy. Zelda Breath of the Wild would have sold 9 million. So, I mean, oh my God. Oh, they didn't make sales expectations. Whatever. EA, I don't have much to say. I just feel bad for the 9 million who bought this piece of crap game. It is a cancer for the gaming industry. It's fine. You bought it. It is your money. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. I just feel sad that it sold that much. I honestly wanted this game to fail completely and sell only like 5 million or 4 million, and the less the better reality. And maybe Disney would take the Star Wars IP from EA. But they're in their investors discussion, they were all, no, we got a good relationship with Sony. It's not gonna Sony, sorry. So with Disney, it's not gonna affect Star Wars going forward. People talk out there, but they don't know what they're talking about. Microtransactions will come back at some point. We're just trying to make it the right way to benefit the players. Of course, to benefit the player, right? It's all about benefiting the player as they steal their wallets and take all the money. But it's all good, EA. You do your thing. You do your hustle. I won't ever, and I mean ever, buy an EA game. And you can take that to the bank. EA.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. EA. I mean, the game did undersold not because you had, like microtransactions. You had all this controversy over because you had certain issues with the game. The real reason why they didn't sell well is because the Last Jedi. Just blame the Last Jedi. It's the Last Jedi's fault. Uh,
they're both pieces of crap. So I mean, hey, it's all good. You got one crappy game who tried to steal all your money, and then you got one crappy movie who's basically stole your soul when you left the theater. But anyway, let's move on to the next piece of news.
Okay, and on the next piece of news, we're going to go back to Xbox. We're going to be talking about Game Pass. which we just talked a little previously. But basically, Phil Spencer, he's talking about Game Pass, and he talks about the opportunities that it gives them. So not only is it the opportunity to have a bigger catalog of games, but about single player games and people being able to play those games. So I know that this is something that you wanted to to cover. So give me your thoughts on this and what Phil said.
So the only thing I don't like about what Phil said is kind of like, oh, now this is the chance for single player games to shine. Like, oh, Game Pass will bring those single again. Let me go back. He's thinking the Netflix mindset. What do you get on Netflix, right? You get quick shows, quick movies and stuff like that. Single player experiences on the Game Pass because yeah, people don't play those games anymore. That's where I never will. I guess me and Microsoft will never see eye to eye in gaming, and that's fine. That's why Microsoft. It is not my preferred console. It picks up a lot of dust, so it is what it is. Yeah, well, I do use it as a 4K Blu-ray, but still, that's the whole point. That's why I and Microsoft don't see eye to eye. I don't see. I just they have a different philosophy. So I do take offense of that. How he said, oh yeah, it'd be a benefit. This year or last year, sorry, has proven that single player games sell. Horizon Zero Dawn sold. Mario Odyssey sold. Zelda Breath of the Wild sold. Everybody sold. Everybody sold. There's still a lot of games that it's sold. So I can't remember any other single. Oh, Mario and Rabbids, it's sold, right? Right, Caliones? Persona 5 sold. Nier Automata sold. Right? They canceled the game that they were trying to make with Platinum Games, and Platinum Games came back and made their own RPG over here with Square on PlayStation, and it's sold. So to tell me that, I just feel a little bit disrespected. But again, they're going for the Netflix model. It's all good, Microsoft. You do your hustle. Just don't count me in on supporting when you are really never supporting first single player games, and that's what I play, and that's what I like. I never will trade an experience like Xenoblade Chronicles or Last of Us to play, I don't know, a Gears, even though it has a okay story, right? Or I don't know, a PUBG, whatever. I'm never gonna trade those experiences. Microsoft, instead of saying that BS, your most successful game last year was called Cuphead. So instead of doing that stuff, single player games still sell. So that's my point. Last of Us is one of the best masterpieces of all time. Xenoblade Chronicles is one of the best masterpieces of all time. There's a reason for that, because they're single player, great storytelling games. And then you can add the factor. Last of Us has a great multiplayer. You can still have a great single player experience like Uncharted and The Last of Us, but have a good multiplayer element to it, right? That's maybe they should have focused more on Gears of War, right? It's an okay story, but it's just the people play that game for multiplayer. But anyway, sorry, Caliones, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can understand like their thinking when it comes to certain things because
Yo,
they're looking at game. Yeah, they're looking at games like Ghost Recon Wildlands, which I didn't really expect the game to sell that much, but it's actually done really well in making money. Then they have the other, like Rainbow Six is another game that has been continually, selling well for the last, 2 years or so. The Division did pretty good numbers as well. And this is all Ubisoft games. So they're thinking about those type of games, that people, what they want to do is get connected, play together, and just, pick up the gameplay and not necessarily just play by themselves. So that's their thinking. But they're only seeing one aspect. And in 2017, hit them really hard and made them realize that, single player experiences are in high demand, and if they're in high demand, if they are well made. So if they make a quality game, regardless if it's multiplayer or single player, it will sell. So that's what they were missing, is that it doesn't matter what game it is, if it's single or multiplayer. If it is a well-made game, it will sell. So
Yep.
We're gonna see. I'm really looking forward to Sea of Thieves. I know that you don't really care for the game. I hope it does, maybe because it's made by Rare, and I kind of don't want them to go under, because if this game fails, it's probably going to be the last that we're going to see from Rare. But it looks interesting. It looks fun. You play with other people as well, and It's going to be one of those games that is going to be included as part of the Game Pass. So because they will start including their first party games, Microsoft or Xbox exclusive games as part of the Game Pass. So for people that want to get it, you can. If not, you can get the 14-day free trial and get it when the game comes out, so you can try it out as well. But we'll see, because Microsoft is doing I'll say good things when it comes to the Game Pass and thinking about games as a service, like Netflix, because that could be a way of the future, especially when games start moving from physical copies to digital. And that's something that is hard for us because I mean, like we like our game cases. We like to have the games, to open them up, like feel them. But that might be going away, or if it doesn't go away, it's going to be like Nintendo Switch, where some physical games actually cost more than the PS4 version or the Xbox One version, because it's more expensive, with the cartridges and all. So at some point they're gonna say, you know what, you can buy the game digitally, or you can get it for physical version, but you gotta pay $10 or $20 more. So that may be the way. And Microsoft is trying to look into the future and react and do something before that it gets there. But we'll see what happens. At least as far as the Game Pass, I like what they're doing. I just wish that they had more games not available, but that they would actually have more game exclusives that would be worthwhile having with the service. But we'll see.
We shall see. Caliones, let's move to the next piece of news.
Well, unless you want to come up with a next piece of news, I don't have another one.
Alrighty then. I think this is it. 41 minutes. God, we're getting efficient. I was gonna say something about Game Pass really quick, and I completely lost my train of thought. Anyway.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to read through the comments and see if somebody made a reference or something that they were talking about. But yeah, just to go back to the Game Pass, it's gonna be $9.99. You can still try it out for 14 days. You got.
Now. I remember now.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Go.
So the news is, again, another one that I missed. I have been adding a lot of news that I missed. Some UK retailers have announced that they're going to stop selling the Xbox because of the Game Pass announcement. So now the dance is happening, Caliones.
This came out of Austria, one of the retailers in Austria.
There's more came out.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, there's more. It's not only Austria that came more in the UK. It's multiples now. And this is the start of the dance between the retailers and Microsoft. My question would be, is a big retailer in the US like GameStop would have the balls to do something like that? That's going to be interesting. Is GameStop's going to stop selling the Xbox One, in the sense not stop selling the console on the store, but stop promoting the console on the store, right? And as Microsoft has the balls to know the battle that they're going into, the balls that they did not had when the whole Xbox One announcement happened, will they have the balls now? Because this is changing the gaming industry. This could lead to something different. And retailers are going to defend what little they have remaining. It is the truth. I just wanted to add that, Calione's piece of news. I'm sorry I forgot about it, but if you want to comment on it.
I'll say, if as far as GameStop, they can't really afford not to have Microsoft games on there, because then they're going to be down to not having hardly anything. The company as it is, I don't really see it lasting that long. I think it eventually just going to go under. But if you look at the industry, it's a really high percent. I think more than 50% of the games that they buy, overall for all the consoles, are digital games. So everybody is moving away from physical games anyway. So companies like GameStop, like smaller retailers, they're probably not going to survive. You're still going to have Walmart's, the Targets, Best Buy, getting games through Amazon. So that's still going to be there. But those smaller retailers, what they're thinking about is that they live off of selling games, selling merchandise, selling and used games. And if Microsoft only moves to like streaming service, of course they're not going to have physical games that they can buy for a low margin and then resell them for profit. So that part of their business, which is what keeps them alive, is going to be gone. So I still say, like, if they had better offerings with the stores, if they gave If GameStop gave like a Gamers Club, type discount, more people will buy games from there. If they gave a Gamer Club discount or to their trade-ins, maybe more people will buy games over there. But I think is eventually is going to go under, and most of the games, like sadly, they're going to be moving over to digital. Digital is pure profit. They don't have to worry about making cases, making Blu-rays, having big factories making those things, shipping them in bigger big containers, either on boats or airplanes, paying stores to like stock them and keep them in stock, so they can like display them, so they can sell them. They don't have to worry about any of that, and it's just a matter of, oh, the game comes out tonight at midnight. I can actually pre-purchase the game. It's gonna download to the console, and at midnight it's gonna send the signal that it's available, and I can start playing it right away. So I don't have to go anywhere, get the game, and bring it in, or wait until somebody ships it over and it arrives at in my doorsteps. So that's just gonna be the way of the future. I know that for somebody like you, I mean, you see all those, collector's edition, you see all those things on the back. It is going
I
to be
will never
sad,
trade this ever
but
for a damn digital copy. Look at how beautiful that looks. Look at how beautiful that
yes.
looks.
But yeah, those are going to be known as dinosaurs in the next 5 to 10 years.
That's fine. You can watch me on the Force In Unison gaming channel killing a 92 level dinosaur T-Rex with my 62, 63 level potty. So enjoy that. Anyway, it's all good, Caliones. It is what it is. I am a dinosaur. Microsoft is doing, I understand. They're trying to move gaming. I just don't like where it's going. But I'm good. I got a Retron 5. I have a lot of backlog games that I could go back and play in the history until the day I die, Caliones. Anyway, with that said, let's end the show with the efficiency that we've been acting. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on Force In Unison Live. Episode 20. Right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also remember, we do have a Nintendo podcast called the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to SoundCloud and iTunes and get that podcast for free. Rate us over there so you can show up some love. Also remember, full channel schedule in the description box below. Monday, Xenoblade Mondays. Tuesday, this show. Wednesday, Streaming Wednesdays, where Caliones and the crew typically plays Splatoon 2. Friday, Toys and More Club plays Minecraft Fridays. And of course, Saturday, the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast. Also, we do have a Facebook page called Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caliones. With all that said, thank you again for joining us tonight. Long live gaming. See you.